mate. Oh, really?
Whoa. Oh, yeah, they don't have my webcam. Hang on, my webcam on.
Yeah. Hang on. Welcome back.
No intro again. There we go. Okay, I fixed it. I had to restart it, but I accidentally put the intro on again. We're good, though. I had my webcam going to Skype because Brian wanted to stare at my sexy face for a half hour while we were getting set up.
That's it, man. I need to see that sexiness.
I was sitting here watching him shove like Vegemite cream puffs down his throat and getting tressed, and yeah.
Yep. So welcome back to the Tech Gaming Weekly, guys, and we have a special week for you. Do you want to go personal news first?
Well, personal news is that cup. That cup that Brian has, that's the first.
Oh man,
that's the first bit of personal news that I think we need to get out of the way is that cup.
That's it. Well, this is the thing, right? I'm gonna go see Star Wars, and when I see it, I better see R2D2. Otherwise, I'm riding.
I could definitely understand that.
Yeah. So on personal news, I tried to build the $100 PC, but ran into some serious problems with the CPU being the obvious one. I actually got it right here. I'm going to try and get another CPU, but it'll take time. So I was like, well, I might as well do it in 2 parts then.
What are you going to do if you get it? What are you going to do if you get another CPU and it's bad again? Then you're going to have to resort to the motherboard.
I'm going to buy one that's been confirmed. Like, you can actually buy ones that are confirmed working. So,
okay. So then, if it doesn't work, then it's definitely the motherboard. Yeah.
Yeah. So
then you have to go to that.
Well, everything else here was if someone turns it on and says, "Look, it turns on," that's good enough for me. But I take junk for granted. I just don't think sometimes that people would just sell completely, if something's completely bricked, I just throw it in the bin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, that was enough of that. I've actually got the Raw 2 in, so I can actually do the giveaway now, the proper Christmas giveaway. So I've got to think on how to do that. And I can't wait. So
they just came out with another one. I saw Jim's review. Jim's review room. Jim's review. He got
my Skype contacts up on the live.
What? Oh.
I just watched the feedback.
There we go.
That's cool. People can just see all your contacts, but
I don't think there was anything important in there. It's just
yeah, that's what I mean. But
just some names. Just Adam Sessler. Oh, what's up, Adam Sessler? Just like
Adam Sessler's there, guys. Just add him on Skype and go tell him what's up.
Well, no, it doesn't. It didn't show their usernames. It just shows their nicknames.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's the good thing on Skype. It just shows the nicknames down the side. I noticed the other day though that it does because I was doing a screen cap, but at the top in the at the top bar where it says Skype, it does say your actual username, address, or whatever that people would need to add you. I was like, ooh, you got to be careful not to show that.
All right, well, sweet. On other news, that's about it. So yeah, personal news. I'm just busy with work. I got stuck in the shower yesterday morning, which was a life-opening experience.
Yeah, you were telling you got to tell them what happened. You got stuck in the shower for 3 hours.
Yeah. When did I have a shower in the morning? Yeah, when did I have a shower? I start work at 8, have a shower at 7. Close the door, everything's fine. And then I go to open the door and it's just literally seized. The door has seized. I've never ever seen this or heard of this before. Anyway, I'm just absolutely smashed.
You're talking about the actual shower door, right? It's
yeah, from the inside. Yeah, and this is an old house, so the shower doors are built really freaking well. I'm there fly kicking the thing literally, and I couldn't get it open. So anyway, I ended up ripping the metal door handle off, just ripping it off, using that as a hammer to go inside the roof and put a hole in the roof in the door next door. Yeah, I know it's going to sound crazy in the comments, stuck in the shower. Yeah. And I put a hole in the roof in the room next door, but I couldn't wedge in between the trusses in the roof. So then I made my way back out again, called out some old chick, and then she called my work, and then they came over and they all helped us. So I know Joker didn't see this, and he wished he saw it though.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't see this. I didn't. No, I didn't.
It's just crazy. I've never heard of someone getting stuck in the shower. Like it was just insane. You know, I'm not gonna frolic around naked because I can get literally arrested for that. You know, and there was actually no sure way of getting in besides breaking a window. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, eventually got help, so it was all good. But yeah.
I just picture you coming around the front of the building or something like that, with a washcloth, basically just covering up your front, like sneaking around the building.
Well, that's it, eh? It's just like I was going to, but I'm like, nah. I'd do it in Australia. Like, that's the thing, but I couldn't do it here. You get deported, you know.
Really?
Yeah. And don't want to get deported. So anyway, your personal news. Tell us what's up. And besides you getting your ticket for Star Wars.
Oh, ticket for Star Wars. That's what it is, man. It's like the next 24 hours are gonna be really painful. I'm seeing Star Wars tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I know like Europe and Asia, they all got it like a day early. Like they have a midnight premiere tonight, but by me, they don't have a midnight premiere tonight. Tomorrow night is the midnight premiere for them because it comes out the day after. It comes out the 18th, so tomorrow is a day early still, and I'm seeing it tomorrow at like 8 o'clock. So that's like one of the earliest showings you can get.
Well, I know Aussies were allowed to see it at midnight last night. It comes out a day later here, so I'm like, well, the midnight appeal's already gone. So
yeah, and I waited for an hour later show because I didn't want to see it in 3D. I just wanted the original 70 millimeter print with no 3D bullshit effects. I just wanted to see it the way that I thought it should be seen. So I was just not going to see the 3D crap.
that's it.
Yep. They may as well ask me to go sit there and sit in racing seats and watch the movie with like RGB lighting going around the screen or something.
Well, that's it. That's what they need to do in cinemas now. They need racing seats and they need RGB lighting all around the cinema.
Absolutely, RGB lighting for everyone and racing seats.
And then they need extra amount of fans too.
Well, I do. I am a firm believer that cinemas should have the medieval times style seating. Have you ever been to a Medieval Times?
Nah.
Medieval Times is a place here in America where you can go and it's like tiered seating, and you have like a long table in front of you, and you have like a wench that comes around and brings you Pepsi and like an old Stein and like half a chicken with no fork or anything, and they just give you like half a potato and like half a chicken. Like, here you go. They need to have that. They need to have this set up in cinemas, and then have and then have beer wenches coming around bringing around ales for everyone. For me and all of my fine gentlemen. All of my fine gentlemen and I need beers. Yeah. It's not
kind of Irish.
It's not Irish. It's like a family thing. You go there and like you watch sword fights and shit, and they fucking like have like jousting matches and stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's legit.
And what anyway, what else on the personal news?
Personal news, I have everything here more or less for the mini ITX build, the Land Syndicate build. I posted an image earlier of it on Twitter. I've got everything though. I've got the case, I've got the motherboard. The CPU is going to be coming out of the test rig, and I think I might pick up a 6700K or maybe a Broadwell.
Yeah, 6700K for sure.
Or the Broadwell i5-7755C.
I'd love to build a Broadwell just GPU and take advantage of that onboard.
I'll tell you what, if I was able to get in touch with someone that wanted to send us out a motherboard that would work for Broadwell, I would definitely go out and buy an i7 Broadwell chip for the test rig and then take the i5 and put that in my Land Syndicate build.
Okay.
Because I want to have an i7 in the test rig anyway, because it keeps bottlenecking me when I'm benchmarking new games. Like it's like Fallout 4 and Assassin's Creed. I saw that bottleneck there, so I didn't feel like I could give accurate enough performance data based on that. So I need the i7 in there.
Neck of the bottle, man. You can just like I'm getting bottlenecked by this cup of tea right now. You know, like the head's too small. You know.
Well, I gotta stick an i7 in there because AMD isn't fucking hurrying up with Zen. Otherwise, I'd stick Zen in there.
Yeah.
I would definitely stick Zen in there if it was out, but I can't wait that long.
Oh yeah, well Zen looks good. But do you want to move on to the first piece of news, Rainbow Six Siege?
Well, yeah, I am. So I addressed this earlier in a video, went over like the details of this big patch, I should say. But I got a chance to test it out, and it's all good. Like, they didn't like break anything, which is like, well, that was a concern in the back of my mind. Like, okay, they're saying they're going to fix all these things, but watch, they're going to come in and break like 20 other things. And I played for about 2 hours earlier, and so far it seems all good. I didn't put enough time in it to say if the net code is 100% fixed. I don't have enough time in it right now to say if that's fixed, but performance-wise, I would say it was more stable. I was smoother. Definitely
What about
smoother.
it says here the HD, Ultra HD texture pack. Did you check that out? Did you notice a difference?
Yep, I put it on, and I definitely did see a enhancement in the textures up close at 1440p, and it was using about 5.6 gigabytes of video memory.
Okay.
They're saying in the menus that they're recommending 6 gigabytes, and that seems pretty accurate.
Okay. Well, that sounds about right. So, yeah, so that's pretty good then. I mean, improvements are always welcome. So this is a good patch then.
Yeah, and also with the performance too, the SLI I thought was scaling better too. It's just more consistent, I would say, because there was some times since the game had come out, like where the SLI for whatever reason would just sort of chug and would only go at about 50% usage it seemed like for no reason. And that does not seem to be the case now. Now it seems to always be like 90% plus usage, and it's just saying like a constant like 80, 90 FPS, just maxing out that VRAM pretty much because of the Ultra HD shit.
Right, so you got to be careful on the... actually, you got two 980 Ti's. You don't have to be too careful.
No, I don't have to be careful.
Yeah. Boo. Okay, so we're going on to the next topic then. There's not much really else to cover on that, except for Mr. Hideo Kojima.
Yep.
Forms a new studio, so it's now official.
Yeah, because it was...
Yeah.
Sorry, I got like a bad cough. I don't know why. This has just been going back and forth with Kojima and Konami. He basically had everyone had thought that he left, and then Konami was saying like, oh no, he's just taking an extended vacation. He's not actually leaving. And we were like, well, this is kind of weird because he had like a going away party and like he told everyone he was leaving, and they're like, no, he's not leaving. And now here he is, opens up his new studio. He's gone. And I can't imagine now Konami's probably going to come out with a story in a couple weeks. Good old fuck Konami's going to be like, oh, no. That's a part of Konami division. His new studio's for Konami. It's like, no, it's not. You just need to give up. It's like an ex-girlfriend who still thinks she's like going out with you. And you're like, look, we're broken up. That's it. Stop calling me. I don't care. Keep the records. You can keep the records. I don't care if you have my old concert T-shirts.
You can keep my World of Warcraft account. You can keep it.
Yeah, just keep. I don't care. You can have the old laptop. It's fine. I'll get a new TV. TV.
That's it. You can keep the World of Warcraft account. So
yeah, just Kojima left. He told Konami they can keep the 42-inch flat screen. He's like, it's fine. I'm going to go to the new 55-inch LG OLED. Pop that in the office. Borrow it from Linus. And then we'll be making games. Well, okay. So anyway, but in all seriousness, when I heard about this, my concern was because there was a lot of talk about it being a Sony exclusive, and it looks like right now anything that he's going to do is going to be a Sony timed exclusive, and then after that it'll come to the PC. And I don't think any official word on Xbox getting the games. It looks like PS4 and PC at least for the time being, and I'm okay with that as long as I get to play it on PC. I'm happy.
Exactly, as long as he's not restricted as well, like as long as he can actually finish his work properly this time around, I'll be really happy. So
I'm happy if it is going to be exclusive to a console that it is Sony because they have much more powerful hardware, so I don't think he'll have as much limitations. And also his style has always sort of been very Sony-esque anyway. He has a very Japanese style, and he's come along, like the Metal Gear Solid games were Sony exclusives for the longest time. So it seems it's a suiting home for him, I think. So
I mean, guys like these have been in the industry so long; they've already got all their contacts they need. So him breaking away is pretty confident. I'm sure he's confident that he can get a game published. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can produce, and I'm sure a lot of people are.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he can do as like a pseudo first-party developer for Sony that'll also come to PC.
Yeah. Without the overhead there,
Well, yeah, I mean, and he did such a good job with the Metal Gear Solid 5 on
Kojima. No. Blah.
Kojima?
Konami. Sorry, I'm getting confused. It's in the morning, so you won't have the Konami overhead this time around.
Oh yeah, exactly. Definitely. Yeah, definitely not.
See, he's in Tokyo. I should just try and like hunt him down in Tokyo, even though I'll be there for like years.
Well, Sony's good too because it seems like their developers usually have an ample amount of time to put out their games, like Naughty Dog with Uncharted. It doesn't seem like Activision or Activision or EA, if they were down their neck, they'd be like, "Oh, we want an Uncharted game every single year." Like, there's like no questions about this. Like, you made a hit game, now you need to make one every year. And if you can't, then we'll bring in a secondary team to work on the games in the off years that you're not working on them. Like, that's, like, at least that doesn't happen with Sony, seemingly.
Yeah.
They're pretty good about it.
Much of a muchness there with good old Hideo Kojima. So, do we want to talk about the next topic? Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I don't know why people seem to be acting surprised about this. I seem to remember them actually announcing this kind of like officially, like a couple months back when they said it was coming out for Xbox One exclusively in December, and then it was going to be coming out on PC in January or February. So, But now we know definitely January.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, it's good news. I haven't finished the AL one on PC. I mean, I've gone I don't know how far I'm through the story. It's pretty fun. Like, it's a good little.
It's a very good game. Yeah. It was. I really enjoyed it. I love games like that, adventure games, like exploration type stuff, like Uncharted or that. And it was just.
I just thought she could have been more badass, though. That's all.
Oh yeah, well, I don't know. It was. I liked the game because it was a really good benchmark, also for PCs, because it had excellent scalability. It was really well optimized for the PC. Just a really good port all the way around.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, I do agree there too. Except the Tress FX thing. That I remember that came out with just like GameWorks titles. Well, you just don't turn those features.
Yeah,
on.
Initially upon launch, it wasn't great for both sides, but eventually they got it ironed out through some driver updates, and now it's like really good.
So sweet. Yeah, that's what we got there. So the new Tomb Raider just comes out. So it'll be hitting. So it's
it's basically it's coming out in January, and from what we've seen already, because it's already out in Xbox One, it's a lot more of the same of what was in the previous Tomb Raider, just a little bit better looking graphics, and that's about it. Maybe a few gameplay elements brought along the way, but that's about it. Not really anything. It doesn't seem like you're doing anything amazing. I wouldn't say pre-ordering, but I'll probably just buy a key off of CD keys like a day before it comes out or something. So
for me, it's going to be pretty good. It's a good pickup. I'm not pre-ordering. I'm not like dying to play this game, but like it was fun. The first one was fun. Like they played on PC. The first. No,
I want to play it. I want to play it. I want to beat it. I want to make videos about it. So yeah, it's going to be a day one pickup for me for sure.
Okay, cool. All right, well, that's breezing through these topics, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. Next one, Dice. You actually linked this to me. This I didn't even know about this. Like, I had heard rumors about this a long time ago, but you're saying Dice teased Battlefield 5 release in 2016. What's going on with this?
Yeah, I think it's November 2016 or something. They teased it. Like that's apparently the release date that we're looking at. And I mean, what's there not to like about Battlefield except the EA element overhanging that? Yeah. I really hope they make it kick ass like Battlefield 3 was. Like, when Battlefield 4 came out, it was kind of like, I really wasn't impressed. I'm hoping they just do something new with Battlefield 4. I just really hope they do that. Instead of just rehashing engines. Same with COD. Like, COD and Battle, there's no exceptions. It's just like rehashing the same formula. Okay, guys, payday, booyah. Like, I really just want to see something new. Like, whether it be a new engine or whatnot, I really want to see something new. But then again, I don't think that'll be the case if it's called Battlefield 5, right? I think they would just they'd call it a whole new game. That's just my thoughts there. But
I'm not really I'm not really too amped up about this title because I've lost a lot of respect for DICE over the past couple of years, just with what they've LA DICE did Hardline and they did Battlefront, but I kind of nest those all together into the same category there. And it just seems like EA is the big problem there, where each of these games is just a delivery system for season pass content and trying to get more money out of people. It's just a big marketing thing for them. That's it. Is just having one or now even two games coming out in a single year to try to get as much money from people as they can.
Yeah.
So it just feels rushed, and I'm not going to be excited for Battlefield 5. I mean, I'll play it when it comes out, but I'm not going to be over the moon about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that way too. I'm like, sorry, but expectations over the years have kind of gone down with a lot of these AAA developers. And I'm kind of looking forward a lot more to the games that just come out. You know what I mean? That are just announced and they've got this, they've got that. This is kind of one of those games that, it's like,
It's like I kind of bought onto the hype train on Battlefront. Like I was excited about it, but then like coming down to the release, I was like, oh, this is not going to be great, is it? And now the game's not even installed on my system anymore. I don't even have it installed.
Really? Well, I saw the real life mod. That looked really awesome. I'm just waiting for it to come down in price. And
Yeah, I remember like having discussions with people years ago and saying like, oh, I love graphics. Like graphics is like the most important thing to me. Like I would play a bad game if it looked absolutely jaw-droppingly amazing. And Battlefront is a testament to that to me, that even though I absolutely love the way that game looks, I love the universe that it sets in, I love the sound design of all of it. When at the end of the day, it's the most shallow game I've ever played, and there's no reason to play it. So that's why I don't even have it installed.
Well, that's what I mean. When I think about all my favorite games, they've all got really good story. They all get you immersed. So, for me, it's always a balance. Of course, I can't play really crap graphics. I remember back in the day, like a lot of my friends were picking up, like way back in the day, a lot of my friends were picking up Ultima Online.
Like take those assets, hand them over to Visceral, and have them do a single player for us, and then I'll play it.
Yeah, exactly, right.
And then you could charge us $60 for that single player game that we should have had with Battlefront.
Yeah, exactly, right. So that's why I think that game really needed an immersive campaign as well. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I would have loved to have seen more with Battlefront. But I mean, on that note, graphics are important though to some degree. When I was talking about my past, with all my friends were picking up Ultima Online. I mean, I played it, but I got bored of it so quickly because the graphics were just bad, like really bad.
Yeah.
Good old Ultima Online, but the gameplay was definitely good, but that's where you need that balance kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, I mean, nowadays, honestly, any game will be fine. I think any game's playable graphics wise.
Yeah. So all right, so we're going to move into the next one here. So next thing up is Unravel is going to be coming out February 9th. We got some new screenshots, new trailer for this. This is one of those kind of like sleeper games that was from E3 that like when it came on, like no one had heard of it, and they just showed it off, and it just looked absolutely amazing, like visually and everything like that. The really nice art style. And the gameplay is like a side-scroller type adventure, very, very similar sort of to something like maybe like Limbo. I guess I would compare it to as it's really taking advantage of the art style and trying to tell a story, with its visuals, and it looks gorgeous. It's coming out on PC.
It looks good. I haven't really been following the series.
This is brand new. This is like a first game. It reminds me of something like sort of like Limbo or Little Big Planet, and I love those style of games. So I'm going to be all over this day one.
Is it
sure.
So it's a 2D platform game, is it?
Yeah, it's a 2D platform, like a 2.5D platform game, basically.
Yeah. So I remember seeing the announcement for it, and I honestly, I'm getting excited if it's a Mega Man sort of that.
No, it's nothing.
Nine or whatever, Mighty Nine.
That's different. You'll be excited for that. That's coming out in like January, February, also.
Yeah, see, I'm really excited for that because I'm a big Mega Man fanboy. This is kind of like,
This is a little bit more slow. This is a little bit more if you're into Limbo, if you're into Ori and the Blind Forest, if you're into that kind of stuff, then you'll be into Unravel, it seems. And I think they hit a good price point, $20 for it. That's about what I'd be willing to pay for something like this.
Yeah, a little bit mellow. I mean, for me, like I like to play kind of those 2D platform games, like on roids. It's got to be challenging, Otherwise, it's like
unless I pay $20 and I beat the game in 4 hours.
Well, there you go, 4 hours.
4 hours.
There you go. So yeah, it's actually pretty cheap. I mean, it's even cheaper than $20. You've got the actual the Origin. That's from Origin themselves. So I'm getting like $17 or something up on my screen. That's pretty cheap.
I'm excited for these visuals, man. The graphics look amazing in this.
Yeah, so it'd be cool little checkout. You guys can check it out with Joker. I'm probably not getting it.
I'm gonna stream the whole thing from start to finish the night that it comes out. There we go. We'll do a whole straight through playthrough of it. start to
Yeah,
finish.
I think that people would like that.
I hope it has some challenging puzzles. I like really challenging puzzles in these types of things, like real good mind benders. Limbo did that really well. There were some parts where you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so we want to talk about. Okay.
I was gonna say, you know what would be perfect for like a side scrolling type adventure game would be Portal. I think that would make a great side scroller type game. I think that could have some really interesting elements of the ways they would use it to traverse around the area.
Yeah, true that. Hey, true that. Yeah, I agree too.
That'd
yeah,
be
it'd
awesome.
be cool to have like elements like that into a 2D game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of like Mario in Space Age.
I'm picturing like a Portal, like Metroid-esque type game, and I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, we're just pitching ideas, guys, for games on TGW. So,
Someone wants to know if someone wants to know if I even game or if I just beat off to hardware. No, I've been gaming quite a bit recently. Like in the evenings, I pretty much playing Siege for like 3 hours solid a night. And then during the day, I've been like, after I get done with my like day's video, like it's been like Witcher constantly, Witcher. Just
for me, I've been the guy beating off to hardware. Like I haven't played many games at all lately. I just one time, I wish I could just play games for like a month. You know what I mean? And just do nothing. But like, yeah, just been so busy. Busy. Do we want to talk about Crytek reveals the Climb, new VR game?
Yeah,
Powered by Crytek.
I know, and people were already giving us shit in the chat about talking about stuff for graphics, and this is basically the only reason this even looks semi-appealing is because it has really nice looking graphics. That's pretty much it.
Well, it's meant to be more focused exclusively for VR, right? Like that's the whole thing. You need like a GTX 970 at least. I mean, I'm looking actually. If they do this properly, it could be an enjoyable VR experience. Because I mean,
it basically looks like Far Cry. It basically looks like Far Cry with VR.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, though, I tried on a VR headset, right? And I remember there was just some dirt buggy in the desert. And I'm like, this is crap. Can I, like, get something that's actually fun, you know? So this will actually be really fun for VR. And I think if they get that experience on the money, then it will be a good game. So, like, even if it's a small game and it just shows the power of VR, I would like that. I'd actually appreciate that.
Yeah, I would. I'm looking forward to getting some type of VR headset in 2016. So anything that if I'm impressed by it, you know, anything that comes out like this where it looks visually impressive is something I'm going to want to experience. It's just I'm curious how much they're going to be charging for these things. Like if you get this and it's not like, is this a full game or is it just something I'm going to download for $5 and it's going to be like, oh, I'm going to climb up to the top of this wall and then that's it, and then I can just do that repeatedly over and over again because that's really boring.
That's it, yeah.
And what are you going to do? What are you going to milk me for like new, like is there going to be microtransactions like $5 for new walls to climb? Like,
well,
it's like, oh, here for deposit an extra $1.99 in climb credits and get these new fucking rainbow gloves. Like you can get special climbing gloves for microtransactions. Like,
here
it comes.
Here
it is.
Cruise gloves.
Here it is.
Or you can get a motorbike that can ride on walls.
Maddie wanted to know Vive or Oculus. Probably both, honestly. I think Oculus is probably coming out first. I'm going to grab one of those right away, as long as there's games to play with it. Hopefully, at least a couple things, and then I'll probably get the Vive when that comes out as well. Especially if it has anything exclusives, like they had showed some demos with like Portal on it. If they came out with something exclusive like Portal for it, then I would definitely. That would be like wow.
Oh wow! What
Could
is
you
your
imagine?
Game of the year? Batman Arkham Knight. Voting.
Batman Arkham Knight, obviously. Yeah. Of course.
That's what I mean. You got to vote Batman Arkham Knight. Everyone needs to go on that website and vote Batman Arkham Knight. Game of the year.
No, certainly not. So
but yeah, honestly, I hope this game's somewhere in between. I hope it's just like a little, 1 hour pickup or something, just to expose the power of VR. That's all. That's what I hope, because I don't imagine myself being like, okay, I'm putting on my VR headset, going to play this game, because I know like an immersive game would take so long to do properly on VR.
Dude, I don't care. I just want to get something really hot in VR so I could just sit here in my chair and like strap on a headset and be like Bruce Willis in that movie Surrogates. Like that's the VR I want, and it's depressing because I know that that's not going to be in my lifetime, but it'll probably be like 40, 50 years after I die, like that'll come out, and I'm going to be really bummed out about it. Like, damn, why couldn't I have like lived like 50 more years and seen?
You want to be bummed out about it?
I want Bruce Willis Surrogates VR. Okay, I want that. Have you seen this movie?
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah, that one's freaky, right? Him and his wife, and then they like
Yeah.
his wife is yeah.
I love that movie because he like I don't know why I don't know why it even looked appealing because like there were so many downsides to it. Like the guy at the bar like went to the bar and he was like hooking up with a really hot chick and then they found out who the hot chick was and it was like some 600-pound fat guy back at his apartment
Yeah,
like with like surrounded by like cheeseburger wrappers and he was like a hot chick in this like in his surrogate
I know.
like
I
hooking up
know.
with dudes. That shit was fucked up.
Yeah, it
That
is
shit was fucked up, dude.
legitimate.
But I still want that technology though. I still want that technology.
Okay,
Should be hot. Be fun.
I'm not really looking forward to it myself.
Or what was it in my like in Minority Report? They had like those booths you can go into and like pay like a few bucks and you can go into like a virtual reality for like a small block of time. Like they definitely need that like in the world. That needs to happen in our lifetimes.
They need that. That's true.
I mean, you're in Japan, so you're already closer to it possibly happening for you before anyone.
I honestly need a proper hoverboard. That's what I need in my life. Like in soon, like in terms of kind of that technology, I need a hoverboard where I can actually get on it and ride to work legitimately. And ride home.
That's I think honestly I don't see why that isn't a reasonable request.
That's it. I need a hoverboard, you know, and then you can see other people on hoverboards, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah,
this is the way it should be.
everyone should have hoverboards, man.
Actually, I'd probably get the scooter. You know, the one the kid uses, like the one with the handle thing. That'd be cool.
Oh, you want the pink one?
Yeah. I want the pink. No, not the pink. I'd do red.
Of course you would.
Yeah,
So that one we saw that one coming, didn't we?
Yeah, that's it. So I want the one with the handle on it. Yeah, the kids version. Yeah,
Red hoverboard, 10 out of 10.
yeah. With
So-
the handlebar.
So, last bit of gaming news we got for today is Elite Dangerous Horizons, which is their first sort of big expansion. It's like a full priced expansion. Like I think it's $40. Came out. It's coming out right now. Looks really awesome from the screenshots
I
they
wish you
showed.
I've got to play this game. It looks pretty good. I mean,
Dude, it's amazing. It's like half of Star Citizen, but the thing is that this is here now, and it's been out for a year now at this point in full release. So they've worked on it quite a bit. Now they're adding in this kind of stuff that's making it way cooler. It's like granted, it's probably not as good as what Star Citizen is ever going to be, but it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I guess people who need a fix in the meantime can just jump on this.
It's legit. The only thing I really think they need to work on is the playing with friends and like a partying system. It's right now it's pretty much like non-existent. It's like you can get into you can find your friend's like ship, but then you basically just have to like follow him around. And if you like lose each other, you're just like, oh, I'm in a different sector entirely, so we have to find each other again. There's no linking up or like proper partying system really. At least there wasn't one last time I tried like maybe 4 or 5 months ago. It was like non-existent at that point, so I don't know if they've added anything since then.
How much can you get this game for? Did you remember off the top of your head?
It doesn't really go on sale that much. The cheapest I've seen it was like I think it was $35 at one point, but it's usually like $60 pretty much everywhere.
All right, sweet. So
And then
Elite Dangerous new expansion looks amazing.
Yes.
Probably is amazing.
Oh, dude, this game is graphically it's so nice. Like when you fly into the space stations and stuff, it's really good. And if you like simulators, then you'll like it. Like it's just basically a space trading simulator.
Well, I might, I'll definitely be checking that out, eh? So, would it be a good game for benchmarking? Because I need new games to make a good benchmark suite for 2016.
I would say not really, no, because a
Okay.
lot of it is
Right.
just flying through vast open space, and it's just not very taxing on the system. I mean, when you get into the space stations, it's more taxing, but the game is literally the size of our galaxy, so it's really big. So it'd be hard to benchmark that.
Ah, yeah, true.
Because
Well, not really. I mean, you're only just pulling up the same. Like for my benchmarks, I just pull up the same strip. Be like, yeah, here I go. But if it's like MMO where you can't really.
well, plus
save
there's
position,
also a lot of
That sucks.
variables. Like if you come into a station and if you're an online open play, and you
Yeah.
come into a space station and there's like 20, 30 online player crafts on
No,
there,
yeah,
then
tanky,
it really hits your CPU very hard. So then the frames drop quite a bit.
Nah, no problems. Not a problem. We got here. We want to talk about the first piece of tech news. I'm getting excited now.
Yes, yes, you want to take this away? The AMD GPUOpen featuring its new brushed aluminum design. Go
Yeah,
on.
so that's it. GPUOpen has been announced. So we've got here Crimson's been announced and released really quickly. I really liked that, how they just got on it and like bang, here it is. And now we've got the GPU Open, which is essentially the free version of GameWorks, except it's going to be completely open, right? So the idea is that you've got optimized toolkits for developers, and you've also got DLLs and all that good stuff that is open and readily available. So people can make changes to it, people can freely share their code and whatnot. So it's a really good initiative, and I'm going to say that it's a really good initiative for the industry. And then, of course, I've got my concerns. Maybe you want to talk about the positive first, because there's a lot of positive, and the positives, obviously, for me, is that it's open. A lot of people can access it, work on it, and stuff like that. But then, of course, there are some negatives, but I will let you shoot off your positives. You want to talk about your aspect or your stance on this?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a positive that they're trying to bring something to market and they're trying to do something. They're trying to play. It also is. They're definitely in a situation right now where they are trying to play catch up with Nvidia. You know, we talked about this earlier off stream. Is that they have, you know, they've been sitting idle for so long, and now they've kind of had a kick in the ass recently in the past few months that they switched things up, moved around some management. They changed it to Radeon Division now or whatever, something else or other. And now they're doing a lot of things. They're coming out with Crimson. They're talking about new GPUs in 2016. They're talking about GPUOpen. So they're doing all these different things, and they're basically doing things that they should have been doing the past like 2 or 3 years. And it's like someone came along and basically said, "Why haven't you guys been doing this stuff? We need to be doing this stuff right now so that we're in position to do what we want to do in 2016. Otherwise, we're just going to keep rolling out the same things over and over again, which has kind of been the status quo at AMD for a long time." So it's nice to see that they're stepping forward and doing something aggressive and at least and trying to get caught up now. And I think this doing things like Crimson and doing things like this is going to put them in a good position where they can do that now that they have the sort of groundwork set up for that.
Yeah. See, I've obviously got my concerns is that NVIDIA with GameWorks, it's not just GameWorks, it's like incentive works, right? And
well, yeah,
NVIDIA,
for the developers.
That's what I mean. So with GameWorks, it's not, you know, there's more than meets the eye, like literally. You know, they give developers incentives to use GameWorks. And from a developer's standpoint, why would they be interested in wasting time? You know what I mean? So if NVIDIA can save them time with all their DLLs, give them a handy kickback, give them free exposure, marketing, whatnot, you know, I find that that's the aspect of GameWorks that definitely works in the industry and then in a capitalist society, right? So I'm worried about open is that, you know, when it's a free thing, who's going to want to take advantage of that? You know, who's going to want to put all the effort in for free? Because, you know, that's the problem. That's always been the problem with open source, is that you can't expect people to work for free, especially nowadays where money is more important than it's ever been. So that is one concern going in. There's also another concern. I mean, you've got TressFX now being an open source thing. The problem is there is that we're going in with DX12, right? And what DX12 effects do we have? So, I mean, there's a few things that kind of concern me, but I do love the initiative, though. How AMD are going towards open source and are going towards the community. But I still think, you know, as a company that's, you know, they've had a lot of financial fallbacks. I think as a company, they need to start getting their profitable outlook in gear. And I don't see how this would be so profitable towards AMD. That's all. So
well, it's basically, to me, it seems like they're trying to do what Nvidia did. They saw what Nvidia did. They're trying to do what they did to see if it'll work for them. It might be a little too late, but I guess they got to do something, right? I mean, this is it.
Yeah.
If they don't do something in 2016, that's it. They've got to do something.
Well, that's it. 2016 is the year of AMD. I agree.
I just don't know if there's. I don't know if there's enough time for them to get this implemented and have it taken advantage of by developers and getting it put into games within the next year or so.
Well, it depends, right? With Mantle, right? We saw Mantle. That, honestly, in hindsight, it was a flop. Like, for AMD. Not for the industry. I mean, they say DirectX 12's using some of that. Vulkan's based on that. It was a good initiative. Yeah,
it set the wheels in motion quicker than it would have, for sure. Right. But that's its legacy. But its implementation was
exactly
failed.
Right. You can set the wheels in motion, but you know, if I design a tire or whatever, new tire, and then someone designs the whole vehicle, I ain't gonna be making a cent, you know, because it wasn't patented, you know. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm worried about AMD financially. I'm just worried about them. So how is this going to make AMD money? That's my concern.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, they're not a not for profit organization. That's just my main concern there. So yeah, that's my main take on it. And we'll talk about this in Q&A because I'm sure there's a lot more to talk about with the audience. So anyway, you want to talk on to the next topic, unless you've got more to talk about GPU Open.
No, that's pretty much it. I had two news stories up for it, but it's all the same thing covering it really.
Yeah.
The next thing we had up here was the 390 is going to be, or it's already they're showing up in China right now, is a 4 gigabyte version of the R9 390, which is kind of an odd thing to see.
I don't like. I like this because it's more options. It just means that people are going to have to be careful if they're buying an R9 390 now. Like they don't have to. Like they're going to have to worry about which version they're buying. Like they see the cheapest one, they're going to have to check now if it's 4 gigabytes or 8 gigabytes. Obviously, that's a concern, but I think it's great for competition now that they can drop in a 4 gigabyte model and compete with the GTX 970.
I will say
price
that
for price.
I will say that I like the Sapphire Dual X cooler on there, the black and purple. I do like that.
I like that. I like the box for the.
I like that. I like that even more. I like that even more than the Nitro. As long as if that has a backplate on it, I'm from game. It looks like it does have a backplate.
Yeah,
I think I think I see a backplate on that.
But I like that box more. The time glass box for the XFX.
Oh, I don't like. I can't say that I'm a fan of XFX cards. They've always looked.
I know, but
cheap
just the
to
box. Just the box. That looks awesome.
Yeah,
that's all.
Well,
it does it for me.
Well, you can have the box. How about that?
I'll have the box. You can have the cards. Sounds amazing. Let's go halves in it too. Like I'll pay $150 for a box.
There you go. Get it shipped over to us.
Take my money. That box has got me sold. All right. Anyway, so yeah, the performance wise, I mean, at 1080p, you like 1080p. That's what I mean. I think the R9 390 on this variant, the 4 gigabyte variant, is like a 1080p card, like and 1440p if you know how to micromanage your settings. The problem is, obviously, I would honestly get the 8 gigabyte version, right? That's the main selling point currently for an R9 390 is it's got 8 gigabytes. You can add another one in, and you've got yourself a kick-off setup still.
Well, there's already such a small price gap between like 380X and the 390 to begin with, so there's really not much wiggle room for this to fit in there. But basically, when you're looking at getting this, you basically say to yourself, well, I could spend like another $25 and get an 8 gigabyte version. Just get the 8 gigabyte version.
Yeah, I mean, I'd pay the extra, $30 gladly. So, yeah, it depends. But I like it. It's still options. More options is generally a better thing. Unless there's too many options, then you don't know which to pick. That's actually a true marketing effect.
Yeah.
What is it? The ice cream effect or something? When there's too many flavors of ice cream, you just won't buy an ice cream as opposed to having less flavors.
I'm not familiar with this term.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it. I learned it in marketing, but yeah, you've got to be careful if you offer too many options. You'll scare a customer away.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
I like options.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. You like options, but not too many. So
I like too many options.
All right, well, good for you.
What
are you doing? Are you doing something like I can't see you?
Apart from when I go to online like Chinese like shops, like they have way too many options. And it's just like how many different Chinese knockoffs of the same product can you possibly have? It's like I can't even decipher which one of these Chinese knockoffs is the best of the knockoffs.
Well, I like when they do
the least worst item.
One thing I like when they take a knockoff and then they change it and do something different. Like the Transformers Devastator knockoff, they like made it orange and like crazy different colors, and I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, knockoff advancement. That's what I like.
It is.
So we want to move on to ASRock, the Sky overclock technology here. I'm actually pretty excited for this because I really would like to try this. I mean, look at that, right? You're turning an i5 6400 suddenly into an overclockable beast. Like, that gets my hats off. Like,
yeah, just with a BIOS update, yeah.
Like, yeah, so just with a BIOS update, your for instance, Z170 Pro 4. Like, a Pro 4 is a pretty budget-orientated board. It's a pretty cheap board. And they're essentially saying you can now overclock the crap out of any CPU. And the biggest one there for me, would be the i5 6400. That would have so much more potential on it, that CPU, that now you can unlock that potential. So obviously via the B clock there. So with the FSB strap. So yeah. So that's how it would work. And look at that, 4.3 gigahertz. That's freaking impressive, man. I'm sorry. Like,
is this using a base clock or just?
Yeah, it's using base clock, as I was saying.
Yeah, base clock.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's really impressive. I really like obviously the first example's the best. I mean, the others after that are kind of like, well, why would you buy a Z170 for an i3? Kind of defeats the purpose. The i7's definitely impressive. I mean, you could save some money, but I mean, honestly, if I was getting the i7, I'd probably just pay the extra money for the K just in case something happened in the future, right? You'd want a guaranteed overclockable CPU there. But I think this is where it benefits it most is the i5 6400. Huge potential there.
Yeah, and the ASRock are such a sleeper for motherboards, man. They're such good, solid motherboards.
I love their motherboards, man. I've been a big fan. I've had like a few ASRock boards come in. X99 boards are amazing. I had not one problem on those boards. I mean, sure, the PCI Express, design and stuff like that, people can nitpick it and stuff, and especially if you're going on the real high end. But I'm talking about the mid range. They're just nailing it, I think, in my opinion. Like,
I'm not usually a person that goes for like the top end board. I just want a stable board that looks relatively nice. Like but I don't want to. I don't like to spend like $450 on a motherboard. I don't want to spend more than like $250 on like an X99 motherboard tops.
Yeah.
A Z170, I don't really want to spend more than $200. Like if we're talking about
even on that level,
i7.
even on that level, they're throwing on like really good onboard audio. I'm surprised. Like the mic in ports are some of the best, like actually the best ports I've heard on onboard audio.
Yeah.
So got to give my hats off to them. They're doing a great thing. Like this just adds more value to people who have already got the Z boards and they bought like an i5 64. I'd just love to go out and buy this board an i5 6400 just to show it and say like, yeah, I got some extra value.
Yep.
Take that.
They're good looking boards, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on to this next one here with the Fury Strix. Turned it into a Fury X.
So I love reading news like this, even though I haven't actually. Like, I mean, I've helped a friend maybe way back in the day do something like this, where you get the pencil, whatever the freaking graphite pencil. But this is like, I just love to do this. You get a cheaper card, and then you suddenly make it a more expensive card. So that's like, I just gained $100 and something. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And you've got an awesome card. Because, I mean, some of those coolers they're popping, like the Strix cooler on the Fury looks really good. Like, I love it. It looks like it'd do a bang good job
Absolutely.
of cooling that thing. So yeah, effectively turning giving you more stream processors equals more performance, giving you more bandwidth. No, it doesn't give you more bandwidth, does it? Sorry, I'm reading like a noob.
Yeah, how are they achieving this?
Just a BIOS update, yeah. Unlocking it. Pretty sure that's the usual
crazy.
method. So yeah. That's the usual method, of course, for getting your... Because I remember they did that on some of the R9 290s, yeah? Well, some of the models with certain bins.
So
right?
he was actually able to access more cores on this thing too, even.
Yeah,
so
you can unlock
so it's
it
basically
fully, right?
So basically everything is there. It just basically has built-in DRM to block you out from accessing it.
Yeah. So, well, apparently it's a tool. It says CU Info Tool, and you can download it. And that's it. So it uses the DLLs from the memory info package for direct access to the hardware. So I don't know
if I'm someone that had bought one of these cards, I'd be really pissed off that that they're basically locking down part of your hardware.
Wait, I don't know. I've got to read more up about it. But if you have a Strix, this is the whole thing. If you've got an i9 Fury Strix, you may want to check this out because. Like, yeah, unlocking a $100 upgrade for free is like crazy. $150, yeah?
What's that?
$150 upgrade for doing nothing. That's
pretty much, yeah.
Hell worth it, yeah. So it's like, congratulations, sir, you just gained $150. So, yeah, if you've got a R9 Fury Strix, then you may wish to check this out. There's a forum link to overclock.net, and then you can download the tool, check it out, what you need to do. And, I mean, does this card have dual BIOS? The R9 Fury Strix?
I can't see. It would be on the other side of the card.
I mean, if it's got a dual BIOS, I would definitely.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Then there would be like no question. Like, yeah, well, let's fucking try it. And there's no risk there, is there?
Exactly.
Yep.
Nothing gained, nothing ventured, nothing gained. All right. So next news, kind of surprising, but in a way, I'm looking at it more so the fact the FX 6330. We've got here another CPU just getting released quietly on the D-Low. So I kind of don't like this news because it means that Zen essentially will be late 2016, right?
You could make that assumption. I mean,
That's
we've already saw information recently that it's going to be March possibly. So
yeah, but I think that's off the table. I mean, why would they be soft releasing these CPUs?
I do want to say that stock AMD cooler is not bad.
Well,
that's not terrible.
It's okay. I've actually got one of them. I silicon gunned it down to my $40 PC. Does an alright job.
That doesn't look all that different than like the Noctu one that I have for my mini ITX build.
Yeah, they do include decent CPU coolers from stock, so that's something I do like about it. They generally, I don't know why it doesn't have the Cooler Master fan on it, because usually they're made by Cooler Master. I'm pretty sure. So, but yeah, they're releasing a new CPU. Essentially, yeah, the same 6-core, just beefed up a little bit. So we've got a 100 megahertz bump, and they're also, yeah, so they're not really changing anything but the clocks. Yeah, it's not really that big of news, but I guess the yields have matured more, so they can bump it up a little bit. But yeah, it's just for me, like the whole point of this article is that kind of like, is Zen going to be delayed? Damn. So,
I don't think it will. I think we'll still get it in March. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I'm hoping that we get it in March. Because that's like not too far away. Imagine just building.
I think I really think March is when they need to release that. Yeah. Just basically because of AMD's financial issues, I think they need to release it in March.
Oh, not just that. No, they need to release it because we get to build it in March. You know what I mean? Instead of waiting out. Yeah, that's for me. It's like I need to build something entirely new. Because let's be honest, Skylake was a freaking flop. Like,
I guess kind of.
Like, I mean, the motherboard manufacturers can only carry so far.
Let's be honest.
The CPU still. That's it. Let's be honest. The CPU has to have the meat and potatoes, and they need to carry with that, but they didn't. It's like, what? 2 generations for this?
They had potatoes, no meat.
That's it. So yeah, you just got like fake potatoes, rubber potatoes,
fake potatoes.
Yeah, fake potatoes.
There you go. So moving on, our next story here is Micron is offering 2 times GDDR5 speed in 2016 with DDR5X. My only concern is who's going to be using it, because Nvidia and AMD, they're all moving on to HBM, but they're lower tier cards though could maybe take advantage of this though.
Exactly right. I think this is the whole deal here is the lower tier cards, or even the mid range. I think this is the main point: is those mid tier cards will definitely be able to take advantage of this. So I mean, it's really it was initially there's this mix up. There's GDDR6, but now no, it's GDDR5X. So it's just ramped up. It's balls to the walls. And we're going to get increased speeds. Like we're going from 10 to 14 gigabytes, whatever. Nothing but good news here, and especially since the mid-range cards will be able to take a little bit of advantage of this. So yeah, looking forward to it. What's your opinion on it?
That's really it. There's just really nothing else to add to it. I think it'll be good if it could add an interesting bump as far as the mid-range is concerned. Something like if it was a 10 series, it'd be like like the 1070. Like if something like a 1070 were to come out and have 4 to 6 gigabytes of DDR5X, that could be a really interesting card at like that mid $300 to $350 price point when it first releases. It's like that's crazy to think about that's what we're looking at though. Like on the next generation NVIDIA cards, like that mid range $350 card is probably going to be like a 6 gigabyte DDR5X GPU, which is insane. A couple of years ago, that was like a Titan. So seeing a Titan being a mid-range GPU is nuts to me.
Well, it's good, and it's going to have faster memory too.
Yeah, and people buying mid-range GPUs are going to have absolute fucking powerhouses, powerhouses.
Well, that's what I mean. Honestly, though, that's where the sweet spot lies. Your mid-range cards, your 390 and your 970. That's really where you want to be at. Right now,
like
PC gaming, but you don't like it enough, or you just don't want to waste that much money.
And bringing that into that mid-range is what I think is going to make 1440 even more so of a standard next year. Like we've already seen that this year, starting more people wanting 1440p displays.
1440 is where it's at too. Yeah,
1440 is already where it's at. 27-inch 1440p displays is what everyone needs to be on right now. That's what you need to be on. And
unless you're like a pro gamer, then I would kind of argue 24-inch may be better. Honestly, depends on the game and whatnot. But yeah. I don't know. What do a lot of pros use for Dota 2? What's the main deal? What's the main
I've
one?
seen. Well, a lot of them are using
and
the
CS:GO, for example.
A lot of them are using the 24-inch 144 hertz things right now.
Yeah.
But I have seen a lot of the like the sponsored events, like where they have just all like set up like Acer XB270HUs, like a whole row of these monitors. So
Yeah.
these are becoming popular too. So I guess they want to use IPS.
Well, remember, yeah, like for pros though, tools matter a lot. So that'd be interesting to see what the majority of pros are using. Then you get the idea. If switching to 27
Well,
would,
they use whoever sponsors them.
yeah, kind of yes and no.
Definitely. That is like one of the things I've noticed anytime I see one of those like broadcasts or like a stream of one of those like big professional teams, is just everything is sponsored from the ground up. Like they're sitting there wearing their like sponsored shirts, and it's like NASCAR.
Yeah,
Where
but
they've got like
more like-
Rockstar Energy and Logitech over here, the G Team, and this over here, and the CS:GO Strikers over here, and
I know
glasses
that.
and all
I know
that.
you're right on the money there. Like they're just hoard out, pimped out, right? With all their,
pretty much.
they've even got their whatever G-Sync shoes on. But the thing is though, that I think the manufacturers would say, no, we want to sponsor you. Here's our product range. Pick what you like. And generally everyone's got like a palm grip mouse nowadays, a claw grip, whatever. They've got all that stuff in their arsenal. So they pick their 24-inch, they pick a 27-inch, they pick what they want from this.
Well, what I'm getting at is, a lot of people will say, a lot of people, it seems, will say like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this mouse because so and so pro gamer used this mouse. When the reality of the situation is so and so gamer is sponsored by Logitech and he's going to use whatever Logitech mouse Logitech tells him to use. That's like I've seen that, like Logitech has a big thing right now. The whole G Team thing right now. Like they just came out with their new Roamer G keyboard, and they've got everyone on that team is running that new Roamer G keyboard, that Atlas keyboard. Everyone is running that, and everyone's running their latest Logitech mouse. It's just they're just running
Logitech mice. I love Logitech mice.
I mean, yeah, they are good. They are good mice. That's I'm not knocking their mice, but I'm just saying that they're going to use whatever they get handed.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, not necessarily what's the best. So I can't rely on them for me to say like, okay, I'm going to use this mouse just because so and so pro gamer uses it.
Well, but if I was like a pro gamer and Logitech were like use the G502, I'd be like, no, I like the G302. End of story. Because I can't play with a palm grip mice, like whatever. So I think they would have to listen to their pros at the very least. Anyway.
Yep.
So, no, 10% drop.
Yeah, 10%. Yeah, 10% drop motherboard sales. Let's do it.
That's what I meant. This is what we're talking about before, right? The Skylake being lackluster. I think this is generally because of Skylake being so lackluster.
Well, I know that you were going to go with that and say that it's directly because of Skylake. I think it's more so directly with the fact that we haven't seen a big bump in the CPU area in quite some time. So a lot of people are just sitting on their CPUs and realizing that I really don't need to upgrade, because even if they're on something like Ivy Bridge or whatever, they're still like, I really don't need to upgrade if I'm on like a 3770K or something like that. You really don't need to upgrade.
Of course, there's just people like us who just get the itch and we're like, we got to upgrade regardless.
Yeah, but we're such a minority though. We're a minority.
Yeah.
Extreme minority.
I'd say nowadays, generally, in general, people are getting more money in general. So I'd say there'd be a lot of people just upgrading from a 3770K because they just wanna. I just wanna. So so this is the good thing about this though, is if the people who just wanna, they then sell their used parts for really cheap. So if you're looking for to get the best bang for buck, it's never been a better time to get used PCs. I was going to make a video on that because it is such a good time to get some of those used PC sales, especially with CPUs going the way they have been in the last few years. It's there's suddenly those 2010, 2011, 2012 CPUs are really good value for money. No kidding.
It is. There's a guy near me on Craigslist. He's selling a Z77 M Power with a 3570K, and he only wants $200 for them together.
Yeah, together. That's what I mean. Wow, go pick that up if you're freaking looking for a gaming PC. Forget the 6600K. You're getting a motherboard, an M Power motherboard thrown in. Yeah. But for cheaper than you can even get a 6600K for. It's like
I had that motherboard. I paid $200 for that motherboard when it came out, and it's still a good motherboard.
Yeah, and you could probably bargain. Does he take offers? You'd be like, hey man, I got like 170, bro.
I wouldn't even try on that. The guy's already getting fucked over on that deal.
I know, but that's because he's got the itch, right? He has to get on Skylake. So, That's, so I'd take advantage of this. But I mean, obviously, in general, though, yeah, a lot of people out there are like, well, there's no reason to upgrade. I'm on Haswell. Haswell's completely fine. I'm even on Sandy Bridge, the 2500K. Don't need to upgrade because it's just, and I think a lot of people out there with that mentality, and it's a good mentality to have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, right? Who just wants to waste and give their money away? But, and in part, it's because it's not really, and it's not the motherboard manufacturer's fault. Like, I feel sorry for them in ways because, big part of their business is dependent on Intel.
I agree.
So, and Intel, let's face it, Intel didn't do such a bang good job of, they didn't do it. They just didn't do it with Skylake.
Yep. So, last topic of the day, Google's showing off their gigantic, ridiculously fast quantum PC.
Scares me. This actually scares me when I first saw it. I was like, wow. You look at the operating temperatures of that.
Like, who also doesn't think that looks like Monolith from 2001?
Oh, yeah. It's scary, man. It's scary, hey. Like, I'm just scared because of the power of this thing. Like, obviously, I don't like it how they exaggerated the power. It's like 100 million times faster than a conventional desktop PC running a single core processor. Newsflash, spoiler alert, there are pretty much no friggin' modern desktop computers running a single core processor. But anyway, just had to point that out. So that'd halve it down, right? If you had dual core, 50 million times faster. Then if it wasn't a Pentium 4, okay, 1 million times faster. But whatever. So, but the thing is, this is a quantum computer. It's the power of this thing is something that I cannot fathom. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty insane looking. So what do they got in there? Like SLI, like 980 Ti's? Like what are they running? Like 4 of those?
Yeah, I don't know. Quantum CPU. Wow, impressive. And it's the temperature. It's running at absolute 0. What the hell?
That's crazy.
So imagine once they started. Yeah, see, that's what people are like. People are concerned about hackers getting their hands on this. Like, yeah, a hacker gets their hands on something like this. Like holy moly. All that insecurity that we have. I mean, imagine the architectural upgrades expenses that banks and everything would have to incur if there was now hackers with quantum CPUs out there.
I'm trying to think of the name of the supercomputer from the movie Hackers right now, but I can't think of it.
What? I forgot. Yeah. So, no idea, man. No idea.
You got to help me with this, Brian. We're going into the Q&A. You got to help me with this.
Okay, we'll get on Google, man. Like, what do you want me to do?
And also, guys, post your questions in chat now for us.
Movie computer name. Okay, what is it?
The Gibson. There it is.
Okay, well, the Gibson. Yeah.
Yes, the Gibson. There we go.
So yeah, this is the.
I can't believe I couldn't think of that.
Yeah. Well, there we have it. So scary that there's actually one in place now. Like that is, here it is, kind of thing. Deal with it. And it's a reality now in 2015. Wow, that's how quick technology comes along. And you don't have to worry about the silicon reaching a dead end, because this is pretty much like leaps and bounds on anything that we currently know. So insane quantum computing. It's just so fascinating. If you guys haven't researched up about quantum physics, you need to go research it. It's just mind blowing. So anyway, we're going to Q&A, and do we want to get this issue sorted out?
Have you ever seen Hackers?
Yeah, I saw it when I was a kid. Ages old, man.
It's like, it's like I remember watching that as a kid and be like, oh my god, this is so cool. But now I go back and I watch it and I'm just like, this is so unrealistic. Like that is not hacking. Hacking is not like that. It's like that is not hacking at all.
So do we want to address the elephant in the room? Last week, people were kind of the vaping thing, right? People were annoyed about the vaping thing.
Yeah, and I tweeted that we didn't even mention it at the top of the show, but I did say on Twitter earlier that I was not going to vape on today's stream, and I lived up to that. I promised.
That's it. So that's what I said. Like for me, I even talked to Joe. I said, "Look, man, I don't know what it is about vaping on cam. It's annoying. I don't know what it is." So I said to Joe, and I think I started realizing why it's annoying. And it's because you're not going the full Monty. You're not going all the way. You're using a kid's tool to smoke a man's substance. So, Joker proposed
the organic juice.
That's it.
So the organic. It's what it is. It's organic essential oils.
That's it. So Joker and I said, look, man, what are you going to do about this? And Joker's proposed a solution. So,
well, I didn't propose a solution. I just promised I wasn't going to vape anymore. And then, so we're not going to vape anymore.
Yeah, that's it. Don't vape anymore. That's it. So just go all the way. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, so we got to go. So we got to go all the way. So
yeah.
So I kind of went all the way this week, and I picked up something online here that I figured I would try out for you guys on the show. See how it is.
That's it. Let's get it going. Let's get it cracking.
We're gonna get it cracking here.
That's it. Crack a like
in just a second.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. You got to go all the way, brother. You can't just no dicking around.
No, we're not dicking around. We are getting it cracking.
That's it.
So we had to kick it up a notch. So obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I was saying. Like, this is what you got to do.
We had to break out the big guns here.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Breaking out the big guns. Breaking out the big guns. We got the big blowtorch.
So you just... That's what I mean. Stop using a kid's tool.
No more kids' tools here in 2015.
That's it.
No more kids' tools in 2015.
That's what I'm talking about, brother. That's what I'm talking about.
No kids' tools in 2015 here.
That's it.
I can't see anything.
That's it. That's it. So that's how you got to do it, brother. All the way or nothing. So there we go. Yeah. I'm just watching. I'm watching the. I'm delayed a little bit. Just watching with a little blowtorch. Hell yeah. So it's medicine, guys. It's medicine. That's what it is. So
essential oils. Essential oils.
Yeah. So I don't know. The vaping annoys me, guys. The vaping annoys me.
But that doesn't.
Yeah, that doesn't. I don't know why. It just doesn't annoy me. So, you're saying, look, I'm a man. This is how men do it. So, anyway, we'll go to questions. I think. So the C9. Need a webcam. Is the C270 worth it? Yeah, it's a really good cam. Like, it's a decent cam for the money, but if you're using it for like anything more than just you being in the corner for streaming, I'd recommend something like a C920. Like, if you're going to actually use full 1080p picture, I would go with the C920 because it's got a much better sensor on board. Okay, we're going back here. Do you think it is a good deal for a Vizio P series 60-inch 4K HD TV with native 120 hertz? And 19.6 response time for $1,000. It wouldn't be a native 120 hertz, would it? Like, I've never heard of that. I'd have to research that. It would just be like a
on what now?
Fake 100. Oh, someone says there's a Vizio P series.
Oh,
if
it's a 120 hertz, then it's just that snake oil 120 hertz where it does the whole interpolation upscaling thing. It's like my TV has 420 hertz. I'm like, my fucking ass is 420 hertz.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think it's real because we would have heard about this everywhere, like a true 120 hertz. I think they're using native in the wrong way. I mean, I'll have to check it out. I will check it out and get back to you. But I would be cautious with that one. Actually, my favorite at the moment is probably, Hisense are doing decent, like 60 hertz, aren't they, or something? I mean, there's some good Korean brands out there. What was that other one you showed me the other day?
Which one? The Psyche.
Yeah, Psyche.
Oh yeah, so if you guys know the Psyche 40-inch 4K panel, right, the one that's like $1,000, PC Perspective gave it a really good review. The only downside about it was that it didn't have HDMI 2.0, but that really wouldn't have bothered me because it had 2 DisplayPort in, and it was, as far as 4K screens go, it's pretty much the best of the best professional screens. It has 8 millisecond response, but it's basically like a PLS type panel. So really, really good, rich, vibrant colors, like good color correction for video work, photo work, 40-inch 4K screen. And it was on sale on Newegg for $448, and it was only for one night. Now it's back up at $1,050. So we missed it. Like, I saw it, I was seriously about to buy it and then sell my Korean and start using that, and I hesitated, and now I'm kind of upset that I did.
Yeah. So, so that's what I mean. Like, I do want to get one of those 4K. I want to get a 4K 40-inch because, as you were saying, right, you can just have black bars and then essentially make your 40-inch a widescreen 21:9, yeah? Because the actual wideness is the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a crazy feature that I would like to check out.
Maddie Malicious wanted to know how I'm specializing my character in Witcher 3. I really haven't done anything too crazy with them. I've put a decent amount of points into fast and strong attacks, and then I put some points into Igni, as well as what's the one that like for delusion basically. I like to be able to do like basically like Jedi mind tricks and like chat conversation trees. So I do a lot of that Jedi mind trick type stuff.
Yeah, Jedi mind tricks. That all.
And I'm going with Triss.
Yeah.
I've already begun the romance with Triss, so that's going that way.
Yeah, so I got asked about RPGs. Like I've been playing Fallout 4. I like that. That's a really cool role playing game at the moment. Witcher 3, or you would recommend Witcher 3, yeah? And then back in the past, I mean, I've played my favorite RPG of all time was like Baldur's Gate 2, Shadows of M. You can get that, the HD version. If you haven't played that, I would recommend playing it. It was just such a good experience.
Yeah.
Of course, the graphics are dated, but it was just so much fun. And the character creation, all that, it was just amazing. So, yeah, we'll go back to questions.
Yeah, you gotta go with Triss, Maddie, because Triss is like, you know, Triss has been there since the get go, man. That's like Triss is basically Geralt's Bay. That's Geralt's Bay. You gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta go with Triss. I mean, Yennefer is like, I thought about it. Like I was like, Yennefer is like smoking hot, but that's like a temporary thing. Like Yennefer's never gonna be with Geralt like permanently, but Triss will always be there for Geralt. So you gotta go with Triss. Okay. Like Triss is wifey. You gotta wifey out with Triss. So that's where I'm coming from on the whole Triss side thing. Brian's like, okay. He's like, Brian's like, yeah, okay. Just so you know, my wall is still very red. That's what Brian's thinking.
Witcher 3, yeah, Witcher 3.
Brian, are you just sitting there like thinking like right now, like my wall is red, my wall is red, my wall is red, my wall is red.
This is what I said. You gotta go all the way, brother.
If I was in that room right now with Brian, that's all I would be doing is just sitting there looking at those like these walls are red, the walls are red, the walls are red, the walls are red, the walls are red.
All right, and back to questions. How much do you guys think?
That's what it is. It's the bottom. It's my bot.
GPU?
It's my. You got Geralt's bottom, bitch. That's what it is.
My walls are red, bitch.
It's very red.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, 980 Ti, the price will drop when the new GPUs are out. Obviously, I'd say they drop just like the 780 was to the 970. It'll drop like quite a considerable amount, I think. When obviously like an end of cycle thing, they get rid of them all. Bang, away you go. So yeah, that'll drop when Pascal drops. So yeah, so what are we doing? New camera or lighting? No, I've changed things around a little bit. I don't know. No new lighting or anything like that. Does it look better? Does it? So if it does, let me know. Do you think the MSI R9 390 will be fine for Star Citizen in the long haul, single card? I mean, it depends on the resolution, as always with any card. I mean, at 1080p, yeah, definitely, I think it'd be fine. 1440p, I mean, it depends, right? Like, I've got Crysis 3, which is, I think this game's based on the same engine, yeah? With Crysis 3, so you would be fine if you tweak settings. Like, I mean, I'm sure they're not going to just release Star Citizen with an ultra-only requirement. And I found, like, for instance, Crysis 3 at 4K looks so freaking good. It looks better than 1440p. It looks better than 1080p on lower settings. So extract your value out of those settings. Don't worry. If you got any card and you want to make it last, I mean, an R9 390 is not going anywhere for a while. So, yeah. Joker is people asking if you're high. I'd hesitate. I mean, I'd hesitate to say no.
No, not
after
really.
that nuke.
No, not really. I was just I was trying to get my screen set up the right way so that this would show up right in the background while we were sitting here talking. I'm doing the Q&A.
Yeah, well, the 7th generation of CPU, if that's Kaby Lake. Kaby Lake should fit in 1151 socket. There would be absolutely no reason for it not to, since it's on the same 14 nanometer. It's just an architecture. It's another architectural upgrade. So I'd imagine it would be 1151. That's just my guess there. Next question. Do you think the GTX 750 Ti overclocker Zeus can run the one and only X videos on ultra settings 4K? X videos? Is that like porn vids?
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
X video is a porn site as far as I know.
Yeah, 750 Ti run porn at 4K.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you could run that on Intel graphics, man.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm not too sure. You might get a bit of chop on a iGPU. I'm not too sure. I haven't tried it. But 750 Ti definitely fine. You're fine.
Broadwell would be able to handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, Broadwell would be, yeah. I currently have a Athlon X4 760K. Can't afford Intel. I found a deal for an FX 8370E and Mobo for $189. Yes or no? I would say depends on the motherboard, actually. That'd be the big thing for me. Depends on what motherboard they're selling it with. If they're selling it with a crap motherboard, I'd kind of... That's all. Just check that one out. Because honestly, yeah, with the 8320 or any of the 8 cores, you have to have a decent motherboard. And I think like one of the entry level recommendations is like the 970 HD3 from Gigabyte or something. Plus there are some other... You need a good VRM if you want to get an 8 core from AMD. And so you can definitely get you want to overclock it too, right? You definitely want to get a sweet spot overclock too. But yeah, it'd be a good deal. I mean, check out if the motherboard's good. $189 not bad. I'd say barter it down to like 180, 170 if you can. Yeah. Favorite mid-tower case is S340. I think that's one's getting.
Well, no, we had a very important question in chat. Someone wanted to know if Jesus actually walked on water.
Did he? What do you think? You go. I've got a brain.
Well, I think what happened more than likely was so Jesus was probably chilling like right by, like by the ocean, and he pulled off like a sick cannonball, like a real sick cannonball. And Susie saw the sick cannonball, and she told Paul about the sick cannonball. And then Paul went and told Terry, and then Terry told Henry, and Henry told Jim. And then Jim finally came back to John, and by the time he got back to John, with that type of game of telephone going on, like sick cannonball turned into Jesus walked on water. And John was like, yo, Jesus, I heard you walked on water. He's like, no, I just pulled off a sick cannonball. And he's like, well, people are telling me you walked on water. He's like, all right, I'll tell people that I walked on water. I don't know what to tell you.
Know, like maybe
that's probably that's basically what happened.
Yeah, I mean, or someone could have grabbed Jesus by the legs, and you do the twirly thing, like some of the wrestlers do it. They spin him around, and then he accidentally just, someone spinned him too hard, and he just flew across water. So, but he was walking because he's like, yeah, woo. Or I don't know. Michael Jackson went to the past and then moonwalked over it with fishing line.
It's like, hey, did you walk on water? It's like, I don't know why that's so funny. He's like, hey, did you walk on water? It's like, no, I just pulled off a sick ass cannonball. Like, so you walked on water, motherfucker.
Cannonball.
It's like, all right, well, tell him I walked on water. Jeez, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
you can't say your own name in vain. You can't take your own name in vain, Jesus. God damn it. Don't take my daddy's name in vain, motherfucker.
What are your favorite mid-tower cases? What's your favorite?
Everyone knows Jesus was a brother.
Hey, what's your favorite mid-tower case? I'm liking
Define R5.
Well, there's so many. It depends on your price point, right? I think Animax, at least from what I've tested, and Zalman have some really good entry-level mid-tower cases that I really like.
Well, is he talking about only entry-level or just any mid-tower?
No, he's talking about favorite mid-tower cases.
Favorite mid-tower for me is I like the Define R5s because the way that they're built, it's just so solid. It reminds me of like one of those like diesel Mercedes-Benz cars from like the 1980s that like when you close the door, it's like a thunk. Like it's solid. Yeah. It's just
I got an R4 here, man. It thing's like a beast.
It's built like a fucking armored car. I love that. So that's why I define R5 all the way. And the layout is smart. It's done the way that a layout should be done. Like everything is where it needs to be. It's not crazy. It's just a simple looking case, but it has everything exactly where you need it to be, and it's easy to work in. And I love it. It's good, fucking good ass case.
So, that's what I mean. I got a few, so it depends on where you're going with value for money. There's a lot of good cases.
Enthoo Pro is a full tower, Sabah. That's a full tower. Yeah. But it is a very good price case at $100 for a full tower. It's an amazing case for $100. I've worked in it. It's a little bit cheap feeling because it's very plasticky, but at the same rate, it has sort of like a very smart layout in the same way that Define R5 does. So it has everything that you need in the places you need it in a big full tower case. It's just a little bit cheaper feeling materials, like very plasticky.
Yeah. Whew. Okay, so I've got about 5 minutes. We'll answer some more questions. What do you think? Will 4K be the new TN panel? I mean, look, I don't think 1440p is going anywhere for a while because like 4K on a 27-inch monitor, like visually when we're talking games and stuff, it's not like, I know the pixels are a lot more, but I've said this so many different times. It's like really the amount of pixels you have to push for what your eyes can discern is something of that's still a debatable question. You know, so I just think 1440p is a sweet spot, even at 144 hertz. That's just my opinion at the moment. So, yeah. Anyway, what other questions? So I've got like a few minutes.
Somebody wanted to know what I thought about Far Cry Primal. I think it's crazy that it's going to be $60. It better not be like it needs to be a full game. I think it's $60, isn't it, or is it $40? I don't know. I can't remember. I think I remember hearing that it was $60 for some reason. I might be wrong on that. Okay.
Oh, will there be a new? Sorry, you go. Sorry.
But yeah, I'll just say like if it's $60, then I think it's crazy, especially if it's going to be sort of like Blood Dragon was, which was only like maybe 6 to 8 hours total. If it's like one of those and they charge full price, then that's nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Also, someone asked if will there be a new line of X99 motherboards. I'm saying most likely yes, because
there'll be a refresh. It'll be the same socket though, so the old ones will still work.
Yeah, the old ones will still work, but yeah, there'll be a new push of motherboards because Intel will get juicy X99 license fees.
Yeah, and they'll add in new things like USB Type C, like more USB 3.0 and all that stuff, and more M.2 and everything will be added in. All that new stuff that people want, NVMe support.
Yeah.
But I could totally, more than likely, if I wanted to go out and get the Broadwell E, Deca Core 10-core CPU, I could probably go get that and just slap it right in my current system. Crazy. I could just get that and slap it in my current motherboard if I wanted to. Yeah. And if I did, I would definitely slip on a water block.
Deca.
I want a man.
I want a Deca, mate.
I wanted to make a video about this the other day just so I can make a thumbnail with the words Deca Core on it.
Deca.
I just would want it.
Hey,
Deca
someone
Core.
asked a pretty good question. Joker, can you see yourself in the porn industry? Good.
Oh, it depends. It depends. I would have a very niche area in the porn industry. I would definitely insist on working only with male to female transitioning transvestites, and I would have to be bottoming. So that would be my niche right there. Right, so as long as I could work in that sector, then we'd be good to go.
Yeah. All right, so I think that wraps it up. I mean, So anyway,
hashtag Joker bottoms for trannies.
Okay, hashtag it. All right, so no pressing concerns here. Will you be upgrading to
TGW is not PC. We are not politically correct.
Last question: will you be upgrading to Broadwell? I might, depending on the cost of the 8-core. I'm looking at the 8-core more specifically. I'm not interested in the deck.
Yeah, I'm curious in the 8-core as well. If they have an 8-core that's priced like the 5820K was, then I'd be all over that.
Yeah, not like it won't be priced the same, but it'll be priced like a lot better. It depends.
If I jump up to 4K, then definitely, I want the Deca Core.
Yeah,
I want the Deca Core. I gotta see where I'm at. Like it's, I don't know. It really depends on what's going on at that time, financially and the channel and all that. And see what I can do.
That's it. And Christmas is on the rise. Star Wars Christmas. I mean, it's going to be good holidays. So we are going to
Star
leave
Wars.
On that note, I think. That's it. Star Wars. That's it. We're going to leave on that note. We love you all. Love y'all.
Star Wars.
And make sure you So tell us, guys, what do you think about also Joker just manning up today? Forget about the vaping crap using a kid's toy. He's going all the way. That's how it should be done.
Brian, I drove 35 miles today to go buy a Star Wars shirt to wear tomorrow.
Well, there you go. You're awesome. I got a Star Wars mug. I drove about, I don't know.
Well, I drove 35 miles out of my way to go get a Boba Fett shirt. And it's a Boba Fett t-shirt, and it cost me $43.
Yeah. All right, man. That's enough. We're getting out. You're burping on freaking cam. Let's get out of here. All right, guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Questions at Tech Gaming Weekly on Twitter. Don't forget to follow Joker and me on Twitter and subscribe to our channels and all that goodness. We will catch you in the next one. Kura.
Don't forget to follow Brian at lemonparty.com, and we will catch you guys next time.
Don't forget Joker and his organic juices.
Organic essential oils.